I'm joined by Adam Henson and John Craven at Countryfile Live at Castle Howard. Thank you for joining me, gentlemen.
Pleasure.
What do you make of the venue for this event?
It's a fantastic venue, isn't it? I mean, from my childhood, I remember coming to Castle Howard, and I did a whole series of TV shows here called Castle in the Country years ago. So it's lovely to come back again, and it's a perfect setting for Countryfile Live, isn't it?
It really is beautiful, and we're very lucky that Castle Howard have agreed to host Countryfile Live up here in the north of England. We've obviously been down at Blenheim for the last few years, but to come up to Yorkshire is a great pleasure.
Excellent. And people have been pouring through the gates this morning. What do you hope that they will take from attending the event here at Castle Howard?
Well, I mean, from our experience at Blenheim, about half the people are urban and half the people are rural, aren't they? And so hopefully the urban people will get more of an atmosphere of what it's like to be in the countryside, because it's a perfect country show. There's not very much agriculture in it, is there really?
No, it's a magazine programme with a little bit of something for everybody. At Countryfile Live, there's every aspect that you might see on the programme coming to the live event at Castle Howard. So whether that's wildlife, farming, some controversial issues and debates about the countryside, lots of fun things to do and lots to eat and drink, John.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a great day out for all the family.
Whatever the weather.
And obviously with Countryfile, you're speaking to both rural and an urban-based viewing public. How difficult is it to get the tone beat to both those sets of people?
Yeah, certainly for me, because I grew up in the countryside and I'm farming at home, is I sometimes drop into sort of agricultural speak occasionally, and the producer or director will pull me up and say, well, hang on a minute, Adam, just remember you may be speaking to an 8-year-old or an 80-year-old in a flat in Hackney that have never been onto a farm, so just make sure you get the language right. So we have to tone it down a little bit, and sometimes the farming community criticises us for that, but our audience is hugely diverse, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's very good for farmers that we have a programme like Countryfile, which is, Adam is brilliant at actually telling everybody what it's like to be a modern big-time farmer. Yeah. The ups and downs of life, the highs and the lows, and a lot of urban people have no idea where Adam comes from, really. Learn an awful lot by watching Adam and his experiences.
Do you think there is a growing disconnect between urban populations and the countryside? Do you feel that's something that's increasingly become a thing?
Has been ever since the Industrial Revolution. Most of us have got agricultural genes in us going back way before the Industrial Revolution. But ever since then, when people moved en masse to towns and cities, there has been this divide. There's no doubt about it. And we try to bridge that, on the programme.
And I think in today's society, you've got growing gardens in schools, you've got television programmes talking about what's going on in the countryside, and the farming and countryside community are much more engaging with the general public, and for people from towns and cities, the countryside is much more accessible than it used to be. So I think that divide is shrinking, but on Countryfile there's a plethora of stories that are always interesting and exciting to be able to deliver to people's living rooms on a Sunday night.
Absolutely, and you're both obviously very close to countryside communities, covering them week in, week out. How do you feel that the health is of our countryside communities at the moment? It's obviously a very delicate time. Everyone's trying to plan ahead for the unknown.
Yeah, as you say, nobody quite knows what's going to happen after October the 31st, especially the farming community. But what we do know is that we need to produce more food in this country in the future. I think about 60% of our food on the plates at the moment is produced in this country. But there's a growing demand for the kind of food we like from the Far East, from China, from India, places like that. We've got money to pay for it, so things that we've imported rather, until now, we might find it difficult in the future. So we need to produce much more of our own food.
Yeah, and I think the countryside is incredibly valuable to the British nation, and we need to look after it and we need to treasure it. And as farmers, we feel like we are custodians of the landscape, but we need to produce good quality food, but also care and look after the environment. The worrying thing is that the countryside is not being particularly well supported, and the village pub, the village hall, the farm shop are all sort of closing down, and we really need to build life in the countryside more and more.
Yeah, what we're finding, especially for older people in the countryside, is that times are pretty hard. They've lost their shop, they've lost their pub, they've lost their bus service. It's difficult to get to the hospital. Maybe doctor surgeries have moved along as well. So, these are difficult times.
Lovely. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.